Reeeeeeee!
Welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You need to introduce yourself properly to our guests, and please say your name in the full Croatia effect.
Okay, so my name is Tomislav Žabčić-Matic.
Yep. And what do you tell the Americans what your name is?
I mean, usually if I'm like out at a bar or something, I'll just say like Tom or whatever. But if I actually have a chance to like talk to someone and it's not blasting loud music and shit, I'll actually tell them my whole name, or well, my whole first name. I'll actually say Tomislav.
Tomislav, or is it Tomislav?
So
because I change it up, like every time I say it differently.
I mean, I guess I've heard all the variations under the sun over the years, so like I don't really care that much.
But which one is it?
So technically it's Tomislav. So not Tomislav, but Tomislav.
Tomi.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now I know, guys. This is Tomislav, one of my dear friends, and we actually met at a bar in Harvard Square.
Yeah.
And my first impression, and you have to share your first impression of me. My first impression of Tomislav was that he knew how to do comp sci. And this is very important because I was a cognitive brain science major at Tufts, and one of the requirements for that major was to do CS, and you had to take 2 courses of it. And fall freshman year, I showed up straight out of Montana, and I thought that computer science was the science behind how computers were made, what hardware is, what's going on in between the little things going on in the computer that I don't know what they're called. And that's what I thought it was. And I was shocked when I showed up and it was coding. I was floored. And I really, really struggled through the first semester. I had many people helping me. I lived at office hours, but I knew I had to take the second course. And I tried to take it freshman spring, and I couldn't. I had to drop out of it. It was so bad. And so then, after freshman summer, I knew that I was going to have to take this course in order to get my major, which the fact that they took away that requirement, guys. You can now get my same major.
I remember you got so scammed.
I was livid because I kept asking the professors, because I had heard that this could potentially happen, that like they could take a class off the requirement and people were struggling through CS. It was a weed out class for people that, like, a lot of people wanted to be this CBS major, but CS was such a weed out class that so many people weren't. And the professors kept saying like, yeah, maybe. But I asked the head of the department multiple times if this was going to happen. And she was like, no, CS is such an integral part of this major. Fine. So I was going to take it, but then nope. Before I graduated, it was gone. So I never had to take it, never had to struggle. We spent hundreds of hours. And anyways, I knew I was going to have to take this class my sophomore year. And when I heard that Tomislav was starting his PhD at Tufts in computer science, I was like, la, my prayers have been answered. And that was my first impression of you. I was just so psyched. And I was like, would you be my tutor? And he was like, well, yeah, sure. Like, so kind.
Yeah, like, why not?
Yeah, I was like, what? But what was your first impression of us? We were kind of a rowdy bunch.
Yeah, I mean, so what was it? I think I was with these 2 friends of mine from my undergrad days.
And where did you go to undergrad?
Harvard, class of 19.
Okay.
And yeah, so 2 of my classmates were in town because one of them was just like involved in some of the commencement proceedings, and the other one, his younger sister, was graduating. So like they're both around. I don't even remember how we started chatting. I think we were just.
You guys offered to buy us a drink. That's what I remember.
That is probably true.
I don't know who it was.
That is probably true.
I don't know who offered who. Like, I don't know who was the person, but.
No, I have no recollection of that detail, but that just on a whole sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess. Well, first of all, I thought y'all were 21, and then I found out later on. I was like, oh.
I was 18.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, you asked me if I would tutor you in CS, and I was like, LOL, I guess, sure. Like, why not?
So my biggest question is, why did you tutor me in CS for so long and like stay up all night, like into like 4 a.m. like helping me? Like, what was like the motivating driving factor in this? Because you could have just been like, I helped you for an hour, I'm leaving. But instead, this man would like, we would pull all-nighters and be just like coding furiously. But it was more like him coding furiously and me kind of like, that looks good. Yep. But it would take us so long. And then also, why was it so hard? Because I thought it would be a breeze for you considering it was like a second comp sci class, but it was rough.
So, I mean, the whole thing, like, I mean, to be fair, we did kind of get through each one of those things in like a night. I was also trying to make sure that like you were at least somewhat getting it.
Was I?
I think so.
I think so.
Like
After a second. Would I be able to do it today? Oof. I don't think so.
It's been how many years since you've touched a line of code? So like
4. Yeah, I know.
So like, I wouldn't blame you if you.
But I definitely understood it.
Yeah.
I could read code. Absolutely. I just couldn't write code. And I think that was the biggest issue. And do you remember my final exam?
Oh God, I remember like that's when I was super bogged down.
I got like a negative F.
Oh no.
Like if you've heard of like a D-? No. It was
Wait, was that the what was that the one where it was I think it was you and a Japanese girl?
Yes, Lee.
Yeah.
She was my partner. So, of course, never do this, boys and girls in class. When somebody raises their hand and says, I don't have a partner, don't be like, oh, great, I don't have a partner either. Let me partner up with you. No, do not do that because this girl didn't have a partner for a reason. Don't you remember? She was like really odd. And I spent a lot of time with her and she basically like spearheaded the project. And I, at this point, had learned a lot from Tomislav. Like I sort of knew the direction of which we should be going. And she was like, not at all. Again, it bothers me so much that if ChatGPT had been released like 6 months earlier, this never would have happened. We would have just been like, tell us how to begin this project. Like, we wouldn't have needed to copy the code, but we could have been like, explain how to begin this project. But it didn't even exist at the time. Like maybe it did, but we didn't even know how to prompt it anyways.
For what it's worth, I don't think it would have even been able to do that back then.
Yeah, it was like
the first iteration of ChatGPT was absolute
But now it could do it, and it makes me so mad. It's like, oh, all of this. But me and this girl Lee spent like at least 10 hours a day in like the basement of my dorm, and we were just hunkering down. And she basically led us through a week straight of doing the project wrong before Tomislav got to read the code and be like, remember you were like, she's an idiot.
I don't really remember this, but I remember that you were in trouble with it. And like I also remember that like I was so bogged down.
Yeah,
and,
well,
like,
he's a busy guy. But yeah, I got like a literal 3% on the final. But thank God I had done so well throughout the rest of the year that I got an A. Like I wound up with an A. And maybe an A-. Maybe an A-. I think it was an A-. But it's okay. Summa cum laude over here. Like I made it. And was I terrorized? Yes. But I think the first CS terrorized me a lot more because I was so on my own. Whereas I knew if I had a question, you would answer it. But thanks for the dedication. Like that's something I'll never forget.
I mean, I also feel like, you know, throughout all of this, because like I would help you out, and then I would like kind of let you work on it, and I would also like work on my own stuff.
Totally, you were the multitasking king. Yeah, like seriously.
So like, you know, I had a lot of shit going on.
Yeah,
you're good company.
Oh, wait, thanks. Do you remember one of those nights that we were like literally up the entire night in my dorm? My roommate and his girlfriend were having like that crazy conversation, and we were listening
I remember there
outside.
was something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember that night.
It's crazy. So I lived with this guy. We'll call him like Mark, and he had a girlfriend, and we'll call her like Erica.
Sure.
So Mark had this girlfriend named Erica. They'd been dating for a couple of years at this point, and we knew from Mark's side, because again, we lived with him, we were close with him, that he was pretty upset about the fact that he and Erica like did not hook up ever. Like they did not really kiss, they didn't really cuddle, they certainly did not have sex.
It's coming back to me.
Yes. It was like it really bothered him because this was his girlfriend and he had to like ask and then she would say no. And like it was just kind of weird because he'd be like, do you want to? And she'd be like, yeah, but like not right now. And she would just always like blow him off.
So why were they, I mean, was it always like that with them?
Yes. And so
why were they together in the first place?
I don't know. Well, wait a second, because it's a crazy plot twist. So Tomislav and I would be coding, and Charlotte would be out there with us, just like we'd be singing, vibing. Like, yeah, having fun. And we would hear them inside their room, because there was like a common room that connected to 2 little bedrooms. Charlotte and I shared one.
And they were like arguing and shit.
And they were arguing in there about the fact that they'd never hooked up, and like Mark was like, oh, can we schedule it? Like, can we like, and she'd be like, okay, I can do like Wednesday at 7. And he'd be like, once a week? Can we do it more than once a week? And then he'd be like, well, I don't want to schedule. Like, it's supposed to happen naturally. And she'd be like, no, like, if you want to do it, let's pick a time and a place. Like, bizarre conversation.
I mean, so like I guess, yeah, it's coming back to me now. I guess my question that, we'll never have this question answered, but it's like, the thing I wonder is like, is she just not really a sexual person? Maybe that's the case.
Well, we assumed she was like asexual or something.
It's like, maybe that's the case. Because otherwise, why the hell were they even together in the first place?
They stayed together until graduation.
You're kidding.
And a little bit afterwards. And now they've broken up. And Emma has a girlfriend.
Okay.
I mean, wait, I need to read it. Fuck, I said the wrong name. Erica has a girlfriend. Oh, I know. So, really crazy. And we have never talked to Mark about it. But Charlotte and I, and I'm sure you assumed that she must have been gay because it was like, this is your boyfriend, you've been dating him for 4 years. You're obviously not attracted to him because she was like,
yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but they weren't just like arguing. She was like sobbing, saying like, no, I don't want to. And like, he was just hurt. Like, he wasn't pressuring her. He was a really nice guy.
He was just hurt.
And confused. Like, if you love me, then why don't you want to?
Right. So then it's like, okay.
And why do we have to schedule it like it's a Zoom meeting? Like, no.
I mean, okay, it's it's one thing where like sometimes relationships have a phase.
Sure.
And like, I know people who have gone through like a phase in their relationship where they had to like work on stuff and like
totally.
you gotta like make time for this and whatever and like, but I feel like that's not how it should start.
I know. This was only like probably 6 months into them fully dating. They talked for like a year. Crazy. Us three used to sit outside their door, like listening in, but trying not to make a peep.
And we'd just be like,
I know, but we couldn't say anything, so then we'd be like, stop, like, don't say anything, and like we would be like stifling laughter.
Trying to whisper.
And then sometimes he'd hear us, and he'd put his fan on so you couldn't hear inside their room, and we'd be like, Are you aware that you had the biggest glow up of the entire century?
Really?
You don't know this?
I mean, I feel like I have, but I don't know about the century.
Should be documented in the news.
Yeah?
No, like, you don't understand. Like, I sent a photo of you to my old roommates, and they didn't know it was you. And we're not saying it was bad before. I'm not saying that, guys. I'm not being mean. I just, like, want to talk about your hair. Like, let's talk about your hair. How high was your hair?
Very.
Like, put it on your head. Like,
anti-gravity.
Yeah. And what made you change that? Like, you were just like, one day you woke up and you were like, because like, it kind of looked like, I don't want you to take offense to this, but like, Jimmy Neutron? Like, that kind of, like, it maybe sort of like looked identical to that, but I don't know, like, maybe, like, I don't know. But we're just wondering, like, how you managed to have the biggest globe of, like,
okay, so
your Instagram feed, like, whoa. Like, we've been sending that shit back and forth. Like, we're like, who is this
I'm
man?
Flattered.
No, and like, what did they do with old Tomislav and his hair was like...
I suppose I have an ex to thank for that.
Yeah, okay. A woman has been there.
A woman has cooked here.
And did this woman tell you, like, Tomislav, I don't really like your hair? Like, what did she say to you?
She didn't say I don't like your hair.
Okay, because that would be mean.
Because I feel like...
And it's not that we didn't like it, we just didn't know the progression.
I feel like if she didn't like what I looked like at the start, then we wouldn't have been together. But I think she convinced me that I would look fine letting it down.
Because you were nervous
so I used to have long hair, like fucking shoulder length.
When?
Have I never shown you my ID? It's still the picture of me from when I was like 18, because I never updated my ID photo.
And you had like Lord Farquaad length hair?
More or less. Do you want to see this?
Yes.
I mean, the viewers will not see this, but you can confirm that it was like to here. Hold on.
Did you ever dye your hair? Because I feel like when I knew you, it was much more blonder than it is now.
Actually, okay. So I never dyed it, but I used to lighten it a little bit. There was with some of those like, I don't know, like off the shelf sprays and stuff. But I never like went to a salon and
because I like this color better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just decided like it was time for a look change.
Sure.
Like a vibe change.
Totally.
And that's when I first cut my hair a little shorter and I kind of pushed it back and whatever. And it turned into what it turned into. And whether it's because I looked better in other people's eyes or just because it was a change and it like seemed to work.
Yeah.
and then I just stuck with it. Like, I don't know.
Like, all right.
I think I was like, this is working for me, like, a lot better than it was at that length.
Sure, yeah.
And I think that's why I just kind of stuck with it for a while. And then that girl that I did convinced me, like, she was like, I think it's okay if you, like, let it down.
And you were like, okay, I'll try it.
And I was like, all right, yeah, like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Probably a lot less maintenance as well, like, in the morning especially.
Oh, yeah. Way less maintenance.
And is that, like, the only change that you made and the rest just
that
followed?
And the minute amount of facial hair that I keep.
Oh, were you keeping none before?
Oh no, I was just clean shaven before.
Okay, I think that's the difference too.
another
I didn't notice that. Okay, but that's true.
Well, I feel like
Great.
you've seen my stories and my posts and
I've
whatever
seen the progression.
over time. So it maybe like the memory has kind of
Every
muddled.
time you post, it goes in the group chat, and we're like, how did this man like? Like it's literally like jaw dropping, guys. I will insert before and after photos. It is quite literally the craziest thing ever. This man's on the beach in Croatia.
You can pull it all off my Instagram.
Like it's crazy. And I sent your most recent post to Charlotte and like just a screenshot, and she was like, "Who is that? Like, why are you sending that to me?" Charlotte, that's Tomislav. That is Tomislav in the flesh. And she was like, no way, that's what I thought, but could not.
I'm dead.
I know, so just so you know, like, I guess you didn't know this. I assume that you must have been aware of this.
That I was getting sent in the group chat?
No, that you had like, the glow up of the universe.
I mean, I definitely feel like I have had a glow up. I don't know about this.
Nobody else has said this to you, like, Tomislav, your glow up has...
Not in such kind words.
Should be studied in research labs.
I'm glad to hear it.
Okay, all right. He's like, wait a second. All right. I think we really need to talk about the Miller DJ and what that means, because when I got to Tufts, there was this enigma of somebody who was called the Miller DJ, and I never really, I didn't live uphill, so I didn't really like get this hype around this person, but I definitely heard whispers of the Miller DJ, and I was pretty shocked when I found out that it was my good friend Tomislav over here. So I wonder if you could please explain this story and tell the viewers why this was so important and also like how this came to fruition. So
first of all, I also had no idea that I was the Miller DJ.
Okay.
Until I...
By the way, Miller's a dorm. Miller's a dorm.
Maybe until I heard it from you?
I feel like I helped you connect the dots, but I don't...
I think so,
yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Basically, I would go up to the top of the campus hill. There were some tables outside of buildings that I later found out were dorms.
You didn't know they were like freshman dorms?
I had no idea, because I started doing that just like over the summer.
When nobody lived there.
When nobody lived there, there was no one around.
Was it like loud music? Like you were having you were partying.
Oh, I was bumping like house music.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like bumping house music, either off of like playlists that I just find on YouTube, or just like my own playlist of I've got like 300 some songs, and I just like queue up a bunch of random stuff.
Fair.
And like I'd have my speaker there with me, because like that's how I started doing it. And then I was like, okay, there are people here now, but I'm not gonna be kicked out from my spot. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care. I'm here doing my thing.
Yeah.
Like if someone asks me to leave, that's another story. Never happened.
Did people come and join you ever?
Yeah, people would come and they'd want to talk to me, and
what?
Yeah,
and you're just sitting there playing music.
I'm just sitting there playing music and like coding.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how it turned into such like a myth, fairy tale legend.
Yeah, apparently. So someone told me that. Yeah, I think someone came up to me and said, "You're famous on side chat."
Well, I was gonna say, it's definitely famous on side chat.
And my reaction to that was,
don't know.
What the fuck is side chat?
Yeah. He was like,
I had no idea about any of this.
He was very famous on our school's like Twitter, Yik Yak. It's called side chat. Of course, Tufts has to do something different than most colleges.
I feel like a couple schools use that.
Like all the weird schools. But I, of course, like had seen those posts, but I never thought it was you. So I was pretty shocked when I found out. Somebody was like, "Is that the Miller DJ that you're always with?" And I was like, "The who? The wait, what?"
The what now?
Yeah, so that's a pretty crazy part of your lore. You have a lot of lore, and I really need you to share the story that you told me a couple of years ago, and I haven't heard this in a while, so I don't really remember all the details, but I do remember something about Amsterdam, something about a chipped tooth and maybe missing a flight. So I don't know if you could tell that.
I was visiting family in Croatia over the winter. and I was
Which is where he's from, by the way.
Yeah, and that explains the bizarre name.
Okay.
And I was flying back, and I was flying through Amsterdam, and so like I spent some time just like doing random shit in the crypto space, just like on the side, and met some interesting people on the internet.
Okay.
And there's one of my internet friends was like, "Oh, you're flying through Amsterdam. Like, we should go out. Like, we should go party."
Somebody you've never met before.
This is somebody who I had spoken with in like Twitter Spaces for
Okay.
many
Aren't
hours.
you like kind of famous on Twitter?
Not really.
Wait,
I mean,
You kind
I
of were, I
don't
thought.
know. I've got a few thousand followers.
Okay.
But it's not like.
But I feel like a few
But I'm not
thousand
like
on Twitter is like.
I'm not like an influencer, nor do I want to be.
But you're like you're a prominent user in the space that you like.
I amassed a little bit of a following. This friend was someone who I had spoken with many times,
Okay.
but never met because, well, Amsterdam.
Sure, that's far
So-
away. Yeah.
So she says, like, "Oh, you're flying through Amsterdam. You have an overnight. Like, we should go party."
Yeah.
So we did, and like it was by and large a fantastic night.
Okay.
Got pretty. Well, let's just say we all had a lot to drink.
And the next morning was your flight?
Yeah, the next morning was my
Okay.
flight. So I was staying at this airport hotel. That was it was like right next to the airport.
Okay.
And at the end of the night, my friend gets a cab. I had lost my phone.
Oh shit.
My friend gets a cab and I guess tells the driver her address and then the hotel that I'm staying at. And I kind of nodded off in the back seat. I was kind of toasted.
Fair, okay.
I think my big mistake was my fatal error was that she had another friend who joined us, and that friend didn't ordered this really nice cocktail and then like hardly had any of it, and this was like the last round that we had, and I was like, well, it's a shame to waste that. I'll have it.
Oh.
And that was
one
probably
drink
my
too
fatal
many.
error.
One drink too
because
many.
I just kind of nodded off. I wasn't like feeling sick or anything,
Sure.
but I nodded off. And the next thing I know, the guy's like, "Oh, we're here," and like, okay, I get out. The guy drives off, and I'm like, huh. I have absolutely no idea where I am.
And your phone was like gone? Like you just lost it or
I
was
think
stolen?
I just lost it somewhere around the area
And you
that
didn't
we
think
were,
to like go back and look for it
that
and
we were
retrace
coming-
your steps? You were just like, oh
Well,
well.
I had no way of. Again, I looked around.
Inebriated, yeah.
I mean, the shock of it sobered me up real quick.
Okay.
Like the adrenaline of like,
Sure.
oh, I have no clue where I am.
No
It's
phone.
probably like 5:30 in the morning.
And at what time was your flight?
Flight was at like, oh god, was it like 9 or 10 or something?
Okay.
I don't know. So it was like late.
Yeah.
It was late, and I had this flight, and I was like, shit, where am I? And I'm trying to look at like street signs, see if like there's any signs that say like, oh, airport that way or whatever.
But what about like your bags and stuff? Were they not at
Oh,
the
my bags were at
hotel?
the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. So like my bags, like all my stuff, my phone was gone, but my bags and everything were safe. They were at the hotel.
But you didn't know how to get to the hotel.
I had no idea how to get to the hotel
Did
because
you
I
know
had
what
no
it
idea
was
how to get.
called?
I mean, I knew what it was called, but like, there was no one on the road. I was like in suburbia, in like the Amsterdam burbs.
Why did he bring you to the wrong place?
I think maybe he forgot where he was supposed to take me, and then maybe he tried to ask me, and I was kind of just like knocked out in the back seat, just like dozing. Well, because mind you, also I was so tired from traveling.
Sure.
So I was super tired from traveling, and that probably also compounded with the partying the night away. So I was just kind of dead, and like again, like not even in like bad shape, like in terms of what you would really call bad shape. I was just tired,
Yeah.
and like kind of drunk. So he probably tried to ask me. Maybe I didn't like really respond. So I think he probably just like woke me up, and he was like, okay, you're here. And I was like, no, I'm not here. But then he was gone.
Oh no.
Well, because like by the time I realized, like I get out, I close the door, the guy drives off, I look around, where the hell am I? Where am I?
What did you do?
I just started walking, hoping that I'd come across like a sign that says, oh, like airport this way, or maybe like city center this way or something, because then I could at least probably find another cab.
Yeah.
Because like I still had my wallet, I had like, I had my wallet, I had all my cards and whatever. Like I could have totally gotten another cab.
Yeah.
But I was just in the burbs.
What?
So I'm
Were
walking.
you freaking out, or you're pretty calm in those situations?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I wasn't really worried for myself. Because, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I miss my flight. That's rough. But, like, I'll live. Like,
Yeah.
screw it, I'll live. I'll like, at some point it'll be daytime. I'll find somebody. I'll ask for help.
Yeah.
And I'll deal with it.
Sure.
The thing that was bugging me was I was like, oh, my family is gonna freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna give my family a heart attack.
Yes. Oh my
And that's what I was more worried about than anything. I was like, I'm gonna give my mother a heart attack.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like cars are driving by. I'm trying to like flag someone down to see if I can like ask someone for help. There's no one walking on the sidewalk. I'm just like walking there, and like mind you, like I thought that like hopefully someone's gonna stop, because I don't look homeless or anything.
No.
Like I was wearing like a nice coat.
You look like a pretty
I was like
normal guy.
dressed up. I feel like I look normal.
Yeah.
One person did stop. Now it was at a stoplight, but they rolled down their window. But then the light turned green and they just left.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, asshole. Like
That's terrible.
no, but I also like so that's when disaster struck. Because I was like, hey, like no, you did the right thing. Like what are you like? Why are you leaving? Like you rolled down your window, and I was about to like, I was like explaining what my situation was. It's like everyone in the Netherlands speaks English.
They just left you.
And they just left. And like I tried waving them down, and I was like, no, like you did the right thing.
Oh my god.
And that's when I tripped over. So it was like not a proper sidewalk. It was like a shitty like asphalt.
And as you're waving them down.
As I'm trying to wave them down, so like I was not ready to brace, and literally, like a tree root must have like grown under the asphalt, because it was just like a bump. And I tripped over that and just whoom, face first.
Oh my god. And what happened?
And now I am not 100% human.
Okay. His tooth.
Yeah, no, I like when I got up and I was like, oh, you've got to be
But
joking.
that was the only thing that happened? Like your nose didn't break, like nothing happened?
No,
just
no,
your
no.
tooth.
And like I busted the inside of one of my lips like a little bit, but like
Okay.
not even too bad. I come across this, I don't know, this just like apartment complex that fortunately for me had their parking lot in front instead of tucked away behind it. So it was like on the sidewalk side. So it was like sidewalk, parking lot, building, rather than sidewalk, building, and then parking lot in the back.
Sure.
And someone had just parked and gotten out of their car.
Oh my god.
And here's the insane thing. I think at that point I was speaking Croatian, because I was probably just like so out of my mind, just like, I need to get back. This is so screwed.
Oh my god.
And again, I was still not worried so much for myself,
it was more just like.
but it was more just like desperation of like, oh, I'm totally.
Do you know how far you'd walked in this time?
I walked for like several hours,
Okay.
for probably like 2 hours,
Okay. Wow.
like if not closer to 3.
And you don't even know what direction you're walking.
Oh, I had no idea where I was going. I was just trying to spot a sign that had like airport or like an
my
airplane
God.
symbol on it. Apparently, I was speaking Croatian at that point, and the guy answered me.
Lucky.
A Croatian guy living in the Netherlands.
Wow.
And he gave me a ride. And like I remember, I remember telling him like, listen, like please just hear me out for like 60 seconds. Like I don't want anything. I don't want money. I just need like I got screwed over and I need help getting to the airport.
Yeah.
And he did listen. And I guess he looked at me and he was like, okay, yeah, this doesn't look like an insane,
Yeah.
like, this doesn't look like a psycho.
Fair.
And
So
he just gave me a
airport.
ride. A brother from the motherland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got back to the hotel, got all my stuff, went to the airport. Oh, and also, like, in that whole ordeal, when I tripped, I twisted the hell out of my ankle. So I was just, like, in a bit of a sorry state.
Yeah.
And I get there, and I'm just so exhausted. Like, I get past security, and there's just this, like, big open area with some cafes and stuff. It's, like, usually where I sit down, grab, like, a coffee and a sandwich or something, and, like, chill for a couple hours while I'm waiting for a flight, like, if I have a layover. I sat down there. It was, like, a couple hours till the flight, and I think I just, like, knocked out, like, sitting up, because I was so exhausted.
Oh, man.
And I wake up, and I look at I look at my watch. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding! Just like one after another.
How many hours was it? You think?
This is. I mean, it was like an hour after the flight left. So like I missed the flight. Fortunately, they were able to rebook me like pretty quickly.
Okay.
They had an empty seat on another flight that was leaving a couple hours later. So
Okay.
like everything ended up being
And then you got a phone once you got back.
totally
to the US?
fine. Yeah, I just got a new phone when I got back to the US. Like
When
all
did
my
you
stuff
get
was
to
backed
contact
up.
your family?
Oh, I went when I got to the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, when I got to the hotel, and then like I had my laptops and stuff, so I
Okay.
could like open iMessage
Oh.
and like text and
Oh
stuff.
my god.
So Tomislav used to say something that I guess you don't really say that often anymore, but it was something that I unfortunately asked him to say all the time. And it was because I found I got a lot of joy out of you saying this. Like I definitely felt very happy when I would hear you say this, but I also feel like you had another thing or catchphrase you used to say, and I've been trying to remember it for like the past week, and I cannot place.
Is it maybe yeet?
It might have been yeet something. Wait, yeet.
Oh, yeet or be yeeted?
It might have been that. I feel like it was like a phrase. Maybe it was
It was just like, that's just some silly shit that I made up at
yeet or
some
be
point.
yeeted. That could have been it. That's really ringing a bell. The word that I am referencing, I'm sure you know what it is. Tomislav would say "re." He would whisper it. He would yell it. He would, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like, okay, so like right before we started filming, you mentioned that, and like, I feel like I said it a lot more around you and your friends.
Well, because I really prompted it.
than I usually would, because you would ask me every single time.
And you know what? I was talking
I
about
was like-
you last night to one of my friends that I was hanging out with, like, before.
And I was like, is this that entertaining? I mean, like, okay, sure.
Like, I was talking about it, and I was like, he would always say "re." Like, we don't know why. He would just always say, I was saying that, right? Then I'm going through my videos of Tomislav to, like, try to jog my memory. And in every single video, I'm like, Tomislav, please say "re," please. And he's like, is like, okay, and says
You're
it.
all right.
So, can you give me your best "re" right now into the microphone?
Oh, God.
I'll close my eyes. Wait, I'm like really excited. You got this.
Reeeeeeee.
Wow, that was pretty good.
I'm trying to not be, like, incredibly loud and, like, disturb.
Yeah, that's her.
People.
Disturb the entire
entire
street.
neighborhood.
Yes. Wait, that was pretty good.
Like, that is not from the bottom of my lungs.
No, it could be much more in depth. Okay, question about like, "re," I feel like is in the same topic of like meme. You're getting a cat, possibly today, possibly tomorrow, and you're naming your cat after a meme.
Right,
And
okay.
I feel like this needs to be talked about, like, why would we name a cat after a meme? / like, what is this meme? / let's hear it.
Okay, so there's this, I mean, it's, I guess on a grand scheme, it's kind of obscure, but, like, it's gotten a lot of views. There's this TikTok series that, like, started from, like, some silly cat photos, and it's just, like, this French guy who makes, like, these silly recordings with the TikTok AI voice.
Okay.
And one of the central characters of this series,
Sure.
which is like, it's total shit posting.
It's, like, funny.
The whole thing
Okay,
is just, it's funny, it's just shit posting.
Yes, sure.
And one of the central characters in this whole story is named Oopie Goopie. Oupigoupi.
Give the full name.
Oopie Goopie, le petit prince de Goopieland.
Okay. That's the name.
Yeah. So and the picture that comes up on the screen when Oopie Goopie is referenced is this like little gray kitten that looks a little bit angry.
Yeah.
And like the original photo from that was like, God, it like I think it popped up on some website like 15 years ago or something.
Okay.
But like that's the photo that's been used, and I'm like, okay, there's this kitten that I'm looking at that I'm thinking of getting, and he kind of looks really similar. And I feel like to the little kitten photo, just like a little bit more grown up.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, that would be kind of funny if I called
I
this
think
cat
it's
Oopie
extremely
Goopie.
original. Like I love that. I love that. Like it's
Like I don't think I've heard anyone else name their
I have not
name their
heard
pet
anybody
Oopie.
name their no, and I think that's kind of fun. When you went to undergrad, you were at Harvard. Is
Right.
there anything like fun facts, stories about Harvard that you could share for people that like might not know a bunch about it? Like obviously, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Harvard is like pretty well known place.
It's like, okay, you get in there and you get used to it, and it's like, yeah, the main dining hall, like it stops looking like Hogwarts at some point, and it just
Yeah.
starts looking like, yeah, this is the dining hall.
Sure.
But then like other parts were, you know, just still continuously really nice.
Is it true that Harvard students party like more than any other students?
I don't know about more than any other, but
it's a heavy party culture, but it's not.
there
like,
is a solid party culture.
Okay.
I feel like
more fun than study or no? Balance.
no. I mean, there's a balance, and it also kind of depends.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, and even for me, like I always overloaded myself with classes.
Sure.
But like, even for me, like there were semesters where like I would get to go out a lot more.
What do you want to do with your PhD? And you don't need to talk as much about like obviously the business stuff, but like, do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to be a professor? Like, what is the purpose of staying in this for so many years?
So I feel like
Because it's a 6-year program.
yeah, it's 6 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've done 5. I've got 1 left.
Yes, I'm gonna be like cheering and clapping and jumping up and down when you cross that stage.
Yeah. So I think, you know, whether it's going to an existing company and doing like big tech or something like that, or, you know, my ideal option would be like to start my own thing.
Sure. Do you like think that your PhD and your decision to get a PhD in computer science would have potentially changed if AI had like come out earlier? Because I feel like, are you like nervous for the potential of getting a
Right,
job?
right.
Or
So-
has it changed because of like the job market with AI?
I feel like the people who are really getting kind of screwed right now are the more junior developers.
Yeah.
Also, I feel so bad for all the people who did like web dev boot camp and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a web developer. Dunzo. That's
Yeah.
no. There's no market for that anymore. So much of front end can just be one shot with like Claude Code or
Sure.
GPT Codex.
Yep.
And like, yeah, there's maybe a little bit of finesse in there, but
Yeah.
the world no longer has a need for the absolute armies of web developers that kind of sprang up during like the tech hiring boom.
Yep.
That was like, I'd say from like the mid 2010s to like just after COVID.
Yep. But you're different than that.
So I would say, and at least my hope is
Yeah.
that advanced degrees are safer.
Okay.
Because like there's more. I mean, what I find is like when I use AI stuff in my work, I'll use it maybe to accelerate the coding process.
Sure.
But not really in regards to like thinking about the research problems. Like I don't think it really can come up with truly novel solutions. I think there's something to be said about using it effectively and maybe using it to like surface more ideas or maybe even like recombine ideas. But then like, I feel like there's still like researchers are needed to basically then pick out like what's actually sensible out of this and what's kind of BS and noise. So I feel like for the time being at least,
We're safe. We're
PhDs
good.
might still be safe.
Okay.
Fingers crossed,
Yeah.
because if we're not safe, then yikes.
Yeah. And we're fucked. Yeah. You must have game because I feel like you have bagged some of the hottest chicks. And we need to talk about, I know this is quite a pivot from Harvard
Oh my
AI,
God.
but is there anything specific that you would do like Do you feel like you're a master of the flirt? Do you feel like you just have good luck? Do you feel like you're just like that cool of a guy that people are just like, yep, I'm good? Because I feel like even though somebody's super cool, you still got to play the game a little bit. So I'm just wondering like what you do on that front.
I hope I bring good energy. I think I do.
Okay,
That's probably some of it. I'm also not afraid to just like talk to people, and like if someone's not about it, then it's like, all right, peace, enjoy life.
Sure. Yep.
Like
You're not like offended by that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what do I have? Like if someone insults me, I'm offended. But
of course,
but like that's not what's happening here.
No,
you know.
no.
So and like that's another thing. That's a thing where I'm like, yeah, I think. I mean, a mistake that I think a lot of guys make, if they're like having a lot of bad luck, is that they start taking it really personally.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know, I just don't take it.
You're
take
giving
it so
advice to
personally.
the masses right now. Don't take it personally, guys.
I think that's the thing, is like I just talk to people and I see who I vibe with. And like there's so many people.
Yep.
Like you're gonna vibe with someone, and I guess I've had the good fortune that I've had also.
Okay.
Like it is a little bit of good luck, I guess, but also you make your luck.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm particularly like a master
flirty.
of like a master of seduction or some shit. That's
No.
like ridiculous.
Yeah. You're just like, all right.
I just talk to people.
Okay. All right, guys. You've heard it here first. Just talk to people. What type of like? Give them like some example of the things that you like listen to. Because I remember you used to show me songs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, so on one hand, I listen to a lot of like house music, like a lot of European DJs. So like
that?
I don't
Like-
know that that's so out there, but like I don't know. I'll give a shout out to my favorite DJs, Oliver Heldens.
Okay.
Actually did I finally got a chance to see this guy in concert.
Okay.
Like a couple of years ago, after so many instances of him performing in Boston, and then me missing that every time. I literally like a day, like I was out of town. I was like getting there the day after. I was getting back the day after
Oh my
this
God.
concert. Finally got to see that guy. That's that total sidebar. But yeah, house music. I also, I don't know. Recently I've been listening to a lot of like 90s Japanese city pop.
Okay. I feel like that's what you were
Kind of
listening to
like
at the time.
disco-y.
I thought you were. Like,
I was listening to like more like modern, like
I thought
Japanese
you were listening
rock.
to like anime.
Oh yeah, like stuff from that you see in like openings, like anime openings.
Anime
but that
rock?
also, yeah, like the J-rock songs that like they use for a lot of openings. That not just those, but like that showed me some bands that actually just in general had cool stuff.
Yeah.
I think also part of it is that it's like really upbeat. It's got a vibe, and like I can, plug my headphones in and just like blast some music and get shit done.
Yeah.
Because like that's also I think the funny thing with like me being, when I was just working outside of Miller, like people were so baffled by it. I would be like playing loud house music and grinding.
Yes. And
And
that's
it's
what
like
you need to focus.
good grind music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, at the time when I feel like I was doing comp sci, I was in a pretty bad mental state, partially because of comp sci, but other reasons. And I think
I remember
that, like,
you had some stuff going on.
I had some stuff, and I think that the thing that like really brought me out of that hole that I was in was listening to like the most insane heavy metal screaming in my ear. And now, like, I'm like, why would you ever listen to that ever? Like, I hear it, I'm like, that's so weird. But at the time, I just needed to be like, ah. But my favorite DJ, his name's Mark Wolf. And he plays like a pretty mass variety of stuff, and anything he plays I like. So
Nice.
as long as he's playing it, I'm there. Have anyone told you like have a very proper walk?
Proper walk.
Like he looks like he's like proper.
I've heard that I have a very bouncy walk.
Yeah, bouncy, but more like good posture. Like you're proper.
I think I have heard.
like whereas
that.
I'm like kind of like grunging
I
around.
don't
I
really
feel like
I
you
don't
stand
really
up
know.
tall.
I don't really know where that comes
You take
from.
big strides.
That is,
Yeah.
I walk fast.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Sometimes if I'm just like chilling, I'll be a little more laid back. But like if I'm going somewhere, then like just
You're going.
straight up. I'm going.
And shoe of choice is still boots.
Typically boots.
You were wearing these black boots for a really long time.
The black suede ones.
And what
Yeah.
happened to them?
Oh, I still have them.
Oh, okay. You just
I
chose
just
to wear brown.
expanded.
Okay.
I just expanded my repertoire.
And why do you like boots? Like, what is it about boots?
I don't know. It's just something. I think it works well for me style
Okay.
wise.
I feel like my feet would get uncomfortable if I was always wearing boots.
No, it
Still,
works.
You buy
it works
good
for
boots.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
a sneaker person. Like, I'm always wearing
yeah.
sneakers. I don't know.
I mean, like if it's like really really hot and I'm spending a lot of time outside, I'll do more like sneakers, especially like, obviously like sneakers with shorts. I'm not a lunatic.
Oh, you don't wear boots with shorts?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Worry not.
That's good.
I'm not a lunatic.
Yep.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've been a boots guy for a while.
Okay.
For whatever reason. You asked me earlier, so Tomislav does have a meaning.
Oh,
or not a meaning
okay.
really, but it's actually a pretty common name in Croatia.
Okay.
There's not a lot of us, and like I don't
Not
think
a lot
I've
of Croatians? Or
there's not a lot of Croats in general. There's
Okay.
like the country's got like 4 million people, and then there's maybe like
What?
a few
The whole
million,
country?
and then there's a few million more of like Croatian diaspora. But yeah, so Tomislav was the name of the first king of Croatia in like 900 something AD.
Oh my god.
And you know, Croatia since then has gone through like various iterations, both like, you know, in terms of its borders and like, you know, there was a time that it was like part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire or like Italian or whatever. The land changed hands a lot, and then after World War II, it was part of Yugoslavia, and then Yugoslavia fell apart, like right after the Soviet Union fell apart, and all those countries became individual again.
Oh.
But yeah, so many iterations, but because of that that like original king, Tomislav, it's actually not an uncommon name.
Wow, okay. So he's like, I'm Tomislav. Like, oh, my friend's brother is Tomislav, and my dog is probably Tomislav.
I don't know that I've met any dogs named that, but
Okay.
it's conceivable, but I feel like very unlikely.
Yeah, fair. Okay. I got electrocuted 2 days ago.
Yeah, like what happened with that?
So, okay, I like had mentioned to Tomislav that I'd gone electrocuted, but I haven't really like told you the story. So, this is a good PSA for anybody. Like, seriously, this is something I didn't know, and the more and more people I share this story with are like, oh my god, I didn't know that either, that you could get electrocuted in this way. And then I told, of course, like, my friend Charlotte, and she was like, are you kidding? You're so stupid. Like, obviously. But whatever, we'll see what you think. So, I live in Connecticut pretty much most of the time. I travel a ton for work. I'm always back and forth. But I was in Connecticut, and I was at my family's house, and they live in the woods. And so there's pretty much like windows surrounding the entire living room, so you can kind of see out into the forest. Very beautiful decks, you know, nice little like treehouse vibe. So we're eating sushi, my sister and I, my mom, my dad, my dogs are there, and this crazy storm comes through. And it was like very intense. My friend who lives around the block told me that he had lost power, and I was like, okay, like this is pretty bad. And it started from like, what's first, lightning or thunder?
You see the lightning
right?
first.
So
yeah.
it started that we would like see the lightning, and then it would be 2 seconds to the thunder, and then it was one.
Did you get struck by lightning?
No. And then but probably that's what's next to come. It would be like one Mississippi, and then it'd be like one, and then it'd be one, and then it would be nothing. And suddenly the lightning was at our house. And you could see it basically happening right outside the windows. And so we were like, get downstairs, because, you know, we're surrounded by trees. They could easily fall into the house. So our whole family rushes downstairs. We bring the dogs. They're freaking out. It's a whole thing. We're downstairs, and the storm is kind of like circling the house, almost like that's where it's trying to go. And it's not really leaving. It had moved towards us, but it wasn't moving away from us. And we were still seeing the cracks of lightning outside. It was really crazy and really intense. I've never really seen lightning that close. So we're down there for a while. Kind of the fear of the storm is winding down, and we're thinking to ourselves, like, all right, like, you know, what's next? What's happening? And I was in the middle of doing a load of laundry. And so I took one of my loads of laundry out of the washer, I put it in the dryer, I pressed play, and then I put in my new load of laundry in the washer. Who would know, who would think that you can't, did you know you can't load your washer in a storm? Would that have ever gone through your head? Of course you cannot take a shower in the storm, which I've told multiple people, and they're like, what? Who knew you couldn't do that? I always do that. No, you cannot do that. But
I actually wouldn't have.
No, to press play on a washing machine. Apparently, the lightning had struck whatever charges up my washing machine outside, and I pressed play, and I'm stuck. I'm like, I cannot move. I'm having energy pulsating through my entire body, and I'm trying to like yell out, say something like, open my mouth.
And it's just not working.
Nothing's working. And I didn't even like have thoughts. Like I was scared, but there weren't any thoughts going through my mind like help, help, help. It was more just like,
oh.
and it felt like I was stuck for like ages, but I think it was like less than a minute.
Yeah.
But it was
a minute,
so,
probably like even
5
less.
seconds, right? I know.
But like time probably stopped.
Time
for you.
stopped, and I was just stuck to the washing machine. And then it let go, and I felt like this crazy rush, and I was so scared, and I was shaking.
Oh my God.
And anyways, I like looked it up, but that night I could not go to bed. Like I did not sleep one time the entire night. Like I stayed awake until yesterday. No sleeping. Didn't sleep until last night, hence why I was really tired.
Right.
And it said online that like the energy and the electricity that was running through, like circuiting through my body is like what kept me like not alive.
Alert.
Like alert and awake.
That's crazy.
And like my brain got electrocuted. Thank you so much for making the time for me and coming on this podcast.
Of course.
Sharing
Thanks
your
for
stories.
having me.
Of course. Like everybody was like, this would be a very interesting guest to have. So I'm really glad that you came on.
Well, I'm flattered that I'm the subject of so much discussion.
He's like,
I had no idea.
Yes. Well, look at that. Thanks, Tomislav.
Say
your name one more time. Come on, come on.
All right, the whole thing.
And then re. And then re. Come on, come on.
All right, Tomislav Žabčić-Matic. Re.
That was good.